You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Today, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office releases the name of a shooting victim.
Clear skies. Now we need the sunshine to take effect because our temperatures this morning, still stuck in the teens. We'll have the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, we'll hear about a dog who was stuck in 5 feet of snow and the efforts it took to rescue him. All that and more coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. One man is dead following a crash between a semi and a sedan in Craig County. According to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, 29-year-old Lance Powell of Afton was westbound on US 60 when he crossed the center line and hit a semi-truck head-on. Officials say Powell was pinned in his vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene by Mercy EMS. The driver of the semi-truck was not injured. One person is dead and 2 others injured following a crash Sunday afternoon in Delaware County. Oklahoma Highway Patrol says 25-year-old Haley Witt of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, was killed in the crash. The driver of the other car was taken by helicopter to Washington Regional Hospital in Fayetteville. Passenger of that car was taken by ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Joplin. OHP says they're still investigating what caused the crash. KBI, the Larned Police Department, and the Pawnee County Sheriff's Office investigate after 3 people are found dead inside their Larned, Kansas home. On Saturday night, just after 9, the Larned Police Department received a 911 call from a man who found the people in the home at 524 Park Street. 44-year-old Shayla Smith, 44-year-old John Smith, and 12-year-old Carver Smith all died from gunshot wounds. KBI was called in to assist in the investigation. That investigation is ongoing. Authorities released the name of the victim in Friday's shooting in Jasper County. Jasper County Sheriff's Office has identified the victim as 50-year-old Brian Smith. Authorities say he lived at that residence. Officials say there will be no charges filed at this time, and an autopsy has been scheduled for today. On Friday, deputies responded to a report of an altercation on South Malang Road around noon and found a 50-year-old man dead in the yard with an apparent gunshot wound. They detained a 75-year-old man for questioning. On Sunday, the Bushwhacker Museum in Nevada hosts the first of what will be many special programs throughout the year. French Creole historian and fiddle player Dennis Stramat presented Laji Yani. It's originally a Celtic tradition to share food and bounty throughout the community during winter. Sunday's presentation gave folks an opportunity to learn more about the tradition.
I think events like today, the cultural, the music, the food, it's not just something from the past. It's alive. It's a culture. It's a tradition that's alive today, and people may not be aware of it, but that's why events like this are so much fun, because we're able to educate the public and hopefully develop an appreciation for this cultural heritage.
Officials with the museum say this is the first special guest like this they've had in 2 years due to the pandemic. City of Pittsburgh opens its burn site for 2022. The site is located 1.5 miles east of Rouse on Quincy Street. Officials say it's for tree limbs and brush only. That means no trash, landscape timbers, treated wood, or other items like that. And the wood must be in its natural form. In case of inclement weather, you can call 620-232-PARK for updated info on the site. The site is open the second Saturday of each month from 8 until noon. Well, who has 5 fingers and is primed for puck drop? Before the Red Wings Ducks game at the Honda Center, the Los Angeles Angels Rally Monkey dropped the ceremonial puck. Are we going to see that? There we go. There's the monkey. The Anaheim Ducks brought in the Los Angeles Angels VIP for the pregame puck drop. Major League Baseball team's unofficial mascot performed his duties perfectly. Not before turning to the cheering crowd and acknowledging it. Hey, look at me. I'm about to do something cool. Rally Monkey hoped to bring the Ducks some luck, as it often does with the Angels. The Ducks got some Rally Monkey magic last night. They beat the Red Wings.
I'll be darned.
4-3.
That is not the same monkey that we talked about from Austin, Texas. I wonder if that's the real Rally Monkey.
This isn't the monkey that stole the child off a bike?
No, the real Rally Monkey is Marcel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure that monkey's a little old for...
No, I don't know how long they live. But yeah, the Angels hired Marcel.
From Friends,
Right.
if you guys don't remember.
Yeah, that became, after they wanted like an actual, not just a scoreboard clip that they played, but when they wanted a real monkey, it ended up, I can't remember, it's a female. Marcel was a female.
This monkey seems too well behaved to be Marcel.
You know David Schwimmer hated Marcel, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
He's got some legendary stories about working with Marcel. Yeah, there was no love lost in that Hollywood relationship. Trust me. All right, Tanya, our daily almanac for this January the 10th would put an average high around 44 degrees. We'll be right there. Not going to really exceed it for today, but by the time we get to tomorrow all the way through Friday, we're really going to be well above that. As far as our temperatures go right now, it's chilly still. We're still waiting for the sun to begin to do its job. We're as low right now as 14 in both Neodesha and in Parsons, running anywhere from 19 in Joplin and Carthage to 20 in Anderson. Believe it or not, Fort Scott and Nevada up to the north. They've actually been the clubhouse leaders so far, and Miami sits at 20. Not much of a wind chill in effect, just knock off about 1-2 degrees on top of that. But compared to where we were at this point in time on Sunday, 15 degrees cooler. Sunday was a weird one though, because by the time we turned the clock on midnight, we were sitting at 48 degrees, and then throughout the course of the morning, even after sunrise, went all the way down into the 30s. Clear Skywatch storm tracker throughout the entire Midwest to get a nice little storm system that was along the Atlantic coast. But you can tell it's even pushed off right now. They'll have some thunderstorm activity down in the deep south. Arctic cold for the Northeast. Rain for Washington State, and for us in the middle of America, nothing but sunshine. It is going to be absolutely glorious this week. We'll go mid-40s today. Little west breeze is going to be very dry. That humidity is going to plummet down to, I wouldn't be surprised if we get below 40% down into the 30s. So we're not doing too bad right now, but that also means we're going to have to talk about some elevated fire concerns. Future track is going to be nothing but temperatures that are going to be above average. Now, tonight, that'll actually be the last time we get down below freezing all week long, because we're going to sit back and enjoy daily highs that are going to make it up into the 50s and overnight lows that will be substantially above 32 degrees. As we head toward the weekend, we do have an additional cold front that'll be on us, but that really won't be until Saturday. So Friday night kicks in a little rain, takes us into Saturday, and cooler temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. So try to take advantage if you got some afternoon and evening time to enjoy a whole bunch of sunshine and great January temperatures.
All right, up next, we've got a special guest coming back in the studio to talk about a fundraising event for a first ever Pittsburgh Pride Festival coming up this summer. But first, hospitals and schools continue to feel the weight of new Omicron infection numbers. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. India reported almost 180,000 fresh COVID-19 cases today, bringing the country's total to 35.7 million cases. The country also began the limited rollout of its booster vaccine program, which is currently available only to healthcare, frontline workers, and individuals above the age of 60 years who have pre-existing medical conditions. India has been registering a steady climb in its daily numbers despite varying levels of restrictions imposed across the states. Delhi and Mumbai have registered an average of 20,000 cases the past few days, with the country's most populous state of Uttar Pradesh registering 7,695 cases in the past 24 hours. Now, most states across the country have introduced a night or weekend curfew and restricted the capacity in offices, public spaces, and transport. More than 1.5 billion doses have been administered overall in India. That's as of today. 11,000 Americans died from COVID-19 in the past week, and that's according to the latest numbers from Johns Hopkins. Omicron variant is leading to a record number of new cases, putting a strain on hospitals from coast to coast. CBS's Naomi Reckham has the latest on the pandemic.
The Omicron variant of COVID-19 continues to move around the country.
The risk right now is to the Midwest, where you have rising infection, where they aren't in the thick of their Omicron wave yet, and you have states that had high hospitalization rates going into this.
99% of Americans live in areas at high risk for infection. Hospitalizations are up nearly 30%.
On the good side, hospitalizations are down relative to cases, but cases are up substantially, so it's pressing hospitals.
Cox Hospital in Branson, Missouri increased its capacity to handle extra patients, but expects to max out again soon.
Well, the reason that we're keeping them here in Branson is because Springfield is full, Mercy is full, every place is full. And we're back where we started, where everybody's looking all over the country for beds.
It took 6 months for the U.S. to report its first 4 million COVID-19 cases. The last 4 million took just 1 week.
Over the past 3-4 weeks, our numbers have jumped from a couple of hundred cars or appointments per day at each site to over 4,000 appointments.
According to the CDC, for children under 5 who are not eligible for the vaccine, 4 in every 100,000 are currently hospitalized, a pandemic record. That statistic, though, includes children hospitalized because of COVID and those admitted for other reasons and found to be infected. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
In Chicago, school is closed for the 4th straight day as the teachers union holds out for an additional safety measures from the city. Omicron mixed with winter weather also continues to disrupt the airline industry as well. And there were 1,300 cancellations yesterday, and FlightAware is reporting more than 600 already today. Well, a sea lion that made its way onto a California freeway on Friday has been taken to SeaWorld San Diego. Now, this sea lion was miles from the ocean and brought traffic to a crawl. What a sight. With the help of 2 Good Samaritans, the wayward marine animal was guided to safety. SeaWorld San Diego's rescue team said they're not sure how the sea lion made its way so far inland, but it's not the first time this particular sea lion has been the subject of a call. In early November, the same animal was rescued from a different road and taken to a rescue facility. Officials say the sea lion has been showing up in odd situations and locations since then. There's no word whether the animal was sick or hurt. SeaWorld San Diego has taken the sea lion to its park to get checked out. I think it's obvious that this sea lion does not want to live out at sea.
Yeah. And
maybe SeaWorld should think about keeping it.
I thought you were just going to tell me that there was another sea lion a little bit ago. That
Nope, same one.
No, same one.
Same one.
What in the world? Look at the trepidation in which they approach that thing.
Yeah.
I got a feeling that he or she may have a little bit of a reputation back at the home base there. Yeah, they were being very, very careful.
Got him.
I feel bad for him. I mean, obviously doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. Well, they'll get him checked out again, and maybe this time
make a run for it.
Yeah.
We got a flood. All right, Tanya, beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. It's very, very cold though right now as our temperatures range anywhere from 14 is still where we're sitting in portions of southeast Kansas. Nevada is already up to 23. Let's go 19 in Joplin and 20 in Miami. Regionally speaking, not just us that has the chill, it is just about everywhere with some cold Canadian air being brought down by the jet stream. But eventually we're going to have very little to complain about for really the rest of the work week as we're going to have sunshine and above average temperatures. Good storm system out here on the Atlantic coast. It's a thing of the past, but look at how quiet everything is west of the Mississippi. An indicator, brighter the blue, the higher the pressure. And I mean, you just go this way. It's just dominated by blue, and that really eliminates any cloud cover as well. Temperatures today, pretty normal for the middle third of January here, about 44, 45 degrees, little west breeze. Now that's going to shift here overnight, and that'll play a key role because we can combo that with a good deal of sunshine. So there we are, arrows coming in from the west today, and just 5 to 10 miles per hour. You can tell by our legend right here. You know, we get concerned there when we throw up the yellow and the orange to red, but we don't see any of that. And there's our shift now coming in tomorrow morning from the south and still able just to keep 5 to 10 miles per hour. So what that will do is keep us from getting blown away, quite frankly, because oftentimes we get these abnormally warm temperatures and we've got to tolerate the high winds to go with it. That's not going to be the case here up until the middle of the week. What will factor in, though, is our dropping humidity. So that'll present elevated fire concerns, but not only great daily highs, look at those overnight lows. Mid 30s, high 30s, can't beat that. We'll be back with more KOAM morning news and a special interview on Fox 14 right after this.
Indigo. All right, we've got a special guest returning for a second segment this morning. Jackie Knopf is joining us to tell us about a big event this Friday and an even bigger event coming up this summer. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start off with the summer event?
Okay, so this summer we are planning the first ever Pittsburgh Pride Fest. It's going to be an all-day event that's going to happen at potentially and hopefully Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh. We are looking to have all kinds of entertainment and festivities going on so that there's things for everyone of all ages, just to feel free and have fun.
Well, anytime you put on a festival of that size, it's going to cost money.
Yes.
And so to raise funds for that, you guys have a big event, or actually it's a monthly event, but specifically this Friday, raising funds for the Pride Festival.
Yeah, so we do the show every second Friday, full of all kinds of different entertainment at the Dirty Mule. But this Friday is going to be a fundraiser specifically for this Pride event. There's going to be a silent auction with all kinds of items on it. There's going to be dollar raffles, 50-50 raffles, all kinds of things to have fun throughout the show. There'll be donation boxes that you can just donate money if you want to, all kinds of stuff.
And of course, there'll be a drag show itself as well.
Yeah, an actual drag show. We'll have burlesque entertainers, drag entertainers, all kinds of things.
All right. Now, you guys, I do want to mention that I am the owner of the Dirty Mule,
Yes.
and not leaving that part out. But we've been doing these drag shows on a monthly basis for a year and a half now.
Yeah, June 2020 was our first show at the Dirty Mule. And so this June for Pride is actually going to mark our 2 years. So it's going to be a specifically special event for us to kind of commemorate that start.
Yeah, and it's been awesome watching the show expand and the different folks that come in to watch it and,
Yeah.
Open up their worlds to something that they may not have seen before.
Yeah, we're the only drag show in Southeast Kansas. There's a lot of people that try to come to us and say, we've never been to this show. I didn't even hardly know what drag was until I came to this. And that's why we also started, during those shows, the first hour of our show is an open stage that we do for all kinds of entertainers. Anyone who wants to hit the stage, try out drag, burlesque, they can come, just sign up with us and perform that month.
Yeah, and it's the drag shows are also an educational experience, and I've listened to some of the things you guys say on the mic. You explain, you teach, you educate.
Yeah, we are a wide variety of people that perform. There is a small cast of us, and then we bring in other entertainers, but it's full of non-binary, AFAB artists, all people on the spectrum of the LGBTQ community, and those things aren't known to everybody. I mean, like I said, they didn't know what drag was hardly. We're trying to also help them know what all these different terms and things are.
So you can come this Friday. If you can't come this Friday, you can come any second Friday of the month, and that's always at the Dirty Mule.
Yeah, every second Friday. You can actually catch all of the events on any of the entertainer social media pages, as well as the Pittsburgh Pride Kansas Facebook page that we have for the event. That's going to have everything about Pride. It's going to have everything about shows happening in Pittsburgh, things like that too.
Again, and there's the Pittsburgh Pride website right there.
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yes,
So just
Facebook
search
page.
for Pittsburgh Kansas Pride.
Yeah, it should be on there. There's all kinds of events and things that you can click on. It'll give you ways to set reminders and things like that.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming in.
thank you.
And I didn't mention, but you look great.
Thank you, thank you.
Awesome
So
makeup
do
job.
you.
All right, it was great having you on the show this morning, Jackie, and hope you have a great show on Friday night.
Thank you. We'll see you Friday.
We'll be right back. It's time to honor today's fourth state hero. First Sergeant David England, the Carthage, Missouri native, served in the U.S. Army. We thank you, First Sergeant David England, this morning's fourth state hero. Well, rough rescue for a dog stuck in 5 feet of snow in Tahoe. When he's finally back home with his owner. Turns out the dog had actually been missing since August. Marley Ginter with the rescuers who found him cold, cranky, and growling, stuck in the snow.
December dumped mounds of snow in Tahoe. Caught in the middle of it was 3-year-old pit bull mix, Russ.
Dogs are strong and smart, and they can survive a very long time. We did not know the situation with this dog or how long he had been out there.
Try 4 months. Russ's owner, a traveling nurse, was in Tahoe when the Caldor fire swept through. Forced to leave when the city was evacuated, Russ ran off, never to be seen again. Until now, on a mountainside stuck in snow 5 feet deep.
So I followed the tracks and all of a sudden saw this dark shape underneath a tree. And then he opened his eyes. And I'm pretty sure I screamed. I'm pretty sure Elsa heard me down the mountain.
Tahoe Paws volunteers Leona Allen and Elsa Gull walked me through their uphill battle on snowshoes and with a sled to get Russ to safety.
And I kind of petted him under the chin a little bit, and then he just did that, you know, where a dog rests their head in your hand.
The sweetest thing on the planet. Just the most amazing dog.
We're just like, he's here. Okay, now what's next? And we didn't really think about that. So I look over at Leona, I go, how do you feel about riding down in the sled with him on your lap? We slid down and we kind of tipped over. And we decided that was the end of the sleigh ride.
The end of an adventure, and now the beginning of many more for Russ.
It was so heartwarming, especially around the holidays, the end of the year. I mean, the year was, you know, so hard on everybody. And then just to have this really happy ending and to be able to be a part of that was, you know, it's pretty special.
Glad he's safe. Another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, Bob Saget, best known as the original host of America's Funniest Home Videos and as Danny Tanner on the beloved TV series Full House, passed away on Sunday at the age of 65. We're going to take a look back at his career. And John Cena reprises his Suicide Squad role as the Peacemaker in his latest film. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
Texan.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:31. Let's take a look at today's top stories. One man is dead following a crash between a semi and a sedan in Craig County. According to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, 29-year-old Lance Powell of Afton was westbound on US 60 when he crossed the center line and hit a semi-truck head-on. Officials say Powell was pinned in his vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene by Mercy EMS. The driver of the semi-truck was not injured. One person is dead and 2 others injured following a crash Sunday afternoon in Delaware County. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says 25-year-old Haley Witt of Locust Grove was killed in the crash. The driver of the other car was taken by helicopter to Washington Regional Hospital in Fayetteville. The passenger of that car taken by ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Joplin. OHP says they're still investigating what caused the crash. In the KBI, the Larned Police Department and the Pawnee County Sheriff's Office investigate after 3 people are found dead inside their Larned, Kansas home. On Saturday night, just after 9, the Larned Police Department received a 911 call from a man who found the people in the home at 524 Park Street. 44-year-old Shayla Smith, 44-year-old John Smith, and 12-year-old Carver Smith all died from gunshot wounds. KBI was called in to assist in the investigation. That investigation is ongoing. A 106-year-old woman credits her long life to her faith and Big Macs. Fox's Marcus Espinoza has the story from Philadelphia.
I feel fine.
Miss Dorothy Nett here is feeling more than just fine. She's feeling 106. The South Philly raised great-grandmother of 9 and great-great-grandmother of 1 says she is looking her best on this most special of days.
You have a date tonight?
Who said you got a date today?
You.
Me?
All right. I'm dating you now.
In a city and world often filled with so much loss, the 106-year-old credits her long life to the man above.
Serving the Lord.
Serving God.
That's it.
Dorothy is so incredible that she actually has outlasted the church that she attended her whole life and would take her granddaughter to. And after they fill up their spirit with the Holy Spirit, they'd also fill up their bellies with a special treat.
Grandma always took me to church. We used to go to Friendship Baptist Church on 18th and Wharton Street. And then after church, we would sometimes go to the McDonald's. My grandma got a Big Mac because she was eating Big Macs for a long time.
Her granddaughter takes care of her now at her mother's house. Not that she needs much to be taken care of, though she admits it's been hard on her grandmother during the pandemic.
Because our family, they would come over every Friday. So until the pandemic happened, it's like no longer doing that. So they just FaceTime, they miss her definitely, but nobody wants to jeopardize her.
So what does someone who is 106 years old want for their birthday? It's quite simple, actually.
Sweet living.
Sweet what? Sweet living? Sweet
Oh.
living? You want sweet living for your birthday?
Yeah, I want to be alive.
105,000 square foot mansion in Los Angeles could become the most expensive property ever to sell in the U.S. The exclusive hillside oasis in the Bel Air neighborhood is set to go up for auction next month with a starting bid of $295 million. It spans nearly 4 acres with 360-degree ocean and alpine views. The home, known as The One, includes a nightclub, salon, spa, 10,000 square foot sky deck, private running track, movie theater, bowling alley, and a 10,000 bottle wine cellar. Wow. While Los Angeles is no stranger to mansions, this is the first and only residence of its size. During the decade it took to build, the city passed regulations limiting the size of single-family homes. And believe it or not, the property's real estate agent already has a targeted buyer in mind.
They've got a putting green on top of one of those buildings as well. I didn't know that. I just saw it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to
they
find
pan
out who
around
moves
there.
into this place. That's awesome.
I wonder if it's been in any movies or anything like that. Does it say who owns it? Or who owned it? Who's
The
selling
story
it?
does not give those details.
Huh. I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need a nightclub in my, in my living space.
Why not?
I got a carport. That is the club.
You talk about the club all the time.
I know. Club 206. You can find us hanging out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker, a whole bunch of blue over the Midwest. That's an indicator of high pressure. That means blue sky. Say hello to the glow cloud. Now, if we can just get a little bit of a warm up. Temperatures ranging anywhere from about 13 to 23, Nevada and Fort Scott. Our clubhouse leaders right now, but just wait till about 10 a.m. We get above the freezing mark, cruise up into the mid 40s today. Look at that week ahead. Temperatures a good 10 to 12 degrees above normal, and tonight will be the last time we have to worry about the freezing mark until we get to the weekend. We'll be back with more KOAM morning news on Fox 14 right after this. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll discussing celebrities who have recently passed away. As Thursday, one of the legends of the silver screen died at the age of 94. The incomparable Sidney Poitier, the first black man to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, that for his performance in Lilies of the Field in 1965. 'Twas a tragic way to begin the new year. Television icon and longtime animal advocate Betty White passed away December the 31st. She would have turned 100 years old next Monday, and most recently, and we'll get to a little bit more about his life, Bob Saget passed away yesterday at the age of 65. Of course, the host of America's Funniest Home Video and Danny Tanner on the long-running TV series Full House, and also such a talented stand-up comedian, just unreal. All right, our question for you this morning: which recent celebrity passing has affected you the most? And right now, 64% of you say it is indeed Betty White. We put Peter Bogdanovich on there, and we've got other on there, Sidney Poitier on the list as well, as is Bob Saget. Now, sad news out of Hollywood, as friends and family, co-stars mourning the loss of Bob Saget. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
He's coming! He's coming! He's here.
Bob Saget, the actor and comedian who brought laughs and fatherly advice as TV's Danny Tanner on Full House, has died at the age of 65. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said in a statement, deputies were called to the Ritz-Carlton Orlando Grand Lakes for a call about an unresponsive man in a hotel room. The man was identified as Robert Saget and pronounced deceased on scene. Detectives found no signs of foul play or drug use in this case. Saget starred on Full House from 1987 through 1995 and reprised his role in the reboot Fuller House. Early work also included hosting America's Funniest Home Videos. In recent years, he focused primarily on his stand-up. He also made an appearance on The Masked Singer in 2020 and hosted a podcast called Bob Saget's Here For You. Saget was on a comedy tour at the time of his death. His last post on his social media was about his love for his job. He thanked the audience, saying he had no idea he did a 2-hour set, adding he felt like he was back in comedy like he was when he was 26. Celebrities sharing thoughts include longtime co-star and friend John Stamos, who wrote, "I am broken, I am gutted, I am in complete and utter shock. I will never ever have another friend like him. I love you so much, Bobby." Actor Joel McHale called Saget one of the most kind and thoughtful people, and he just happened to be one of the funniest on the planet. TV writer Norman Lear says he was hilarious. We were close friends, and I could not have loved him more. Raising Dad co-star Kat Dennings posted, he was generous, protective, caring, and wonderful, adding, he talked about his kids constantly. Bob Saget is survived by his 3 daughters from his first marriage to Sherry Kramer and his second wife, Kelly Rizzo. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
A high-tech Honda Civic that gives you a retro vibe. Fox's Gary Castillo takes a look at the 2022 Honda Civic hatchback.
The newest Honda Civic hatchback has a lot in common with the original from 50 years ago. As with the sedan it's based on, the 2022 Civic hatchback isn't a hybrid, isn't electric, it's powered by a 4-cylinder engine, and even in this top-of-the-line sport touring model is available with a 6-speed manual transmission. That's right, Honda is keeping it real. The $24,000 Civic hatch features a more mature look than the previous edition and a dashboard design that gives off a 1970s vibe while combining smart and simple physical controls with a much improved version of Honda's infotainment system tech. And even though this is shorter in length on the outside than the model it replaces, it has more rear seat legroom than any Civic before it. A couple of years ago, this could have passed for a mid-sized car. In fact, it might today. This offers the choice of a 158 horsepower naturally aspirated engine or the 180 horsepower turbocharged engine that's in this one. For those who prefer not to do it themselves, the front-wheel drive Civic hatch can also be ordered with a continuously variable automatic transmission that improves the combined fuel economy rating from 31 miles per gallon to 35 miles per gallon at the expense of some driving fun. But both are available with the Honda Sensing suite of driver aids that includes adaptive cruise control and a lane centering system. It's not crazy powerful, but what impresses about this is its premium ride handling that's as sharp as a scalpel and a clutch and stick that are so easy to use you don't even mind getting stuck in traffic with them. Although you'd rather not. In the 2022 Honda Civic hatchback, Gary Gastelou, Fox News.
Was a lovely commercial for that car. Well, Disney had a banner year at the box office. The company's hit movies gave it a first-place finish in 2021. Disney raked in more than $1 billion domestically last year, the biggest take of any studio in the industry. In fact, the money made by Disney films represents a quarter of the entire box office proceeds in the United States and Canada. Industry analysts say films attached to the Marvel Cinematic Universe propelled Disney to the top, and they say they expect movies from that franchise to continue to pack movie theaters. The late comedian Betty White is honored by the Girl Scouts and sees gains in a program since her death. The Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore gave a tribute to Betty White in December, just a few weeks shy of Betty's anticipated 100th birthday. They established a patch program in recognition of her. The self-guided program hails White for her activism, animal rights supports, and as an overall nice person. Interest in the program has about tripled since her death on December 28th, just days away from 100. Girl Scouts can still join the program for a chance to earn the commemorative patch. That's cool. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
At Burnett here on Fox 14.
John Cena reprising his role from the new Suicide Squad in a new series on HBO Max. Our man, Rick Damigella, has a preview.
What superhero are you?
Peacemaker.
Get out of here! There's no superhero called Peacemaker!
Dude, I'm famous.
After surviving the events of the Suicide Squad, John Cena's Peacemaker is on a new mission.
Why are you in your costume?
Costume. This is a uniform.
and it's brand new, so I gotta stretch it out, make it more comfortable before we go on a mission.
If you watch The Suicide Squad and then watch 4 episodes of Peacemaker and say this guy has no more dimension, we've made a bad show. So I'm glad that we've achieved our objective, and I hope audiences feel the same way when they watch Peacemaker, because that's when you get 8 episodes to dive into a character, that you better reveal some dimension.
Who's the guy that's peeking out behind the trash can?
Vigilantes, trying to be helpful.
I have wanted to play in television for a long time. I haven't had the opportunity, but when you make a film, the king is plot. Everything has to move forward from one scene to the next. You have to keep things moving. But in television, the king is character. So character is what I focus on anyway.
This is hardcore. Be a handler in the field.
I grew up doing gymnastics. I was a competitive gymnast as a kid. And so I've always wanted to be able to find a role that melded my athletic ability with my love for acting, and this role did that for me, and it's just been incredible.
2 jerks in costumes and a couple of rejects.
It's like a real team out there.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
First 3 episodes of Peacemaker stream Thursday on HBO Max. New episodes then weekly until February 17th. And by the time we get to Thursday, we're going to have temperatures that are way above normal. We've just got to let the glow cloud do its job right now. And we are starting to see a little more 20 to 22 emerge around there after what's been a very chilly morning. Still as low as 13 right now in Neodesha. 19 in Joplin. A far cry from where we were at this point Sunday morning. Sunday was a little bit deceiving because we actually hit our high temperatures shortly after midnight. And then, excuse me, they were sitting there around 50 degrees at midnight on Sunday, and then whoosh, down we go to the point where we got teens still hanging on here at 7:52 on the Monday morning. But just give it a little bit and it's going to be absolutely delightful. As a matter of fact, high pressure really going to dominate most of the contiguous 48. A little bit of a storm system that's pushed out to the Atlantic. Eventually, we'll also focus in on some flooding for the Pacific Northwest later on this week. But when you get that bright blue in there and you get that high pressure, it's really hard to complain about the amount of sunshine that we're going to have all week long. Little westerly breeze to begin with, just 5 to 10 miles per hour. But our humidity is going to drop around 30%. So a little bit of an elevated fire risk here. Not so much wind-wise, but simply because it is going to be extremely dry until we get to our next round of rain, and that's not going to happen until Friday night. Tonight will be probably the last time in a while that we drip below the freezing mark, and it's not going to be horrific by any means. We'll be right around 32 degrees. But then look at these daily highs all the way up into the 50s with overnight lows cruising in the 30s. Next time we even worry about rain, and we're going to need it by that point in time, is going to be Saturday night into Sunday, Friday night into Saturday. But you also notice a little bit of a cold front kicks in there just in time for the weekend. So let's take advantage of a great January week ahead. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Today at 8, right here on Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The New York City Fire Commissioner says a malfunctioning space heater sparked one of the city's deadliest fires in decades. Some 200 firefighters responded to the blaze on Sunday at a 19-story Bronx apartment building. Children were among the victims and dozens were injured, some critically. With the Omicron variant spreading rapidly, the U.S. is averaging about 700,000 new COVID cases per day. That's double from the previous peak a year ago. 99% of Americans live in areas at high risk for infection. Hospitalizations are up nearly 30%, straining many medical centers. Comedian Bob Saget, who starred in the TV sitcom Full House and hosted America's Funniest Home Videos, has died. Sheriff's statement said Saget was found in a hotel room in Orlando, Florida, where he was touring for a comedy show. Sheriff said there were no signs of drug use or foul play. Bob Saget was 65. Let's check in with Michael with a final look at your forecast.
Take a little bit, but eventually mid-40s, right on par for where we'd be as we break into the middle third of January. Overnight, be the last time in a while that we drop below the freezing point, and the big factor, that wind shifting to the south early tomorrow morning, because you combo that with all the sunshine we're going to have this week, and we'll ride the 50s all the way to the weekend.
Late years after being stolen from the garden of her home, Cassie the Cocker Spaniel is reunited with her owners, and she wasn't alone. A video filmed by Sussex police in November of 2021 shows Cassie's emotional owners meeting the dog they thought was gone forever. What they described as a priceless Christmas present, Cassie was accompanied by 3 of her puppies, 2 boys and 1 girl. The puppies have now been rehomed with new families. COVID-19 pandemic has seen a rise in the number of people getting pets as companions, which has seen prices for puppies grow to new heights. This has led to some criminal gangs targeting animals to steal, to either sell or breed. And Cassie and her puppies are all now in their forever homes.
Love it. All's well that ends well right there. All right, thank you so much for joining us and letting us put the good in your morning. We will be back with more news and weather when we see you at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.